Normally we move on to just the procedures for public participation, but I've got a couple things to say beforehand, if everyone will indulge me. First, I've received, at this point, 127 emails in support of our aides and keeping them on staff in-house. And I don't know how the rest of the board feels, but I personally would really like to thank everyone for their advocacy and engagement on this question. I do appreciate it. I don't know if everyone up in these seats has always appreciated the engagement we get, but I do. So I want to remind everybody that we still have a mask mandate in place for attendance of meetings. I don't see any offenders out there. So when during the COVID period, when we were trying to do return to school prep, the comment period became more of a question and answer town hall board meeting hybrid. That was out of necessity. We had a lot of outstanding issues that we needed to deal with right then and there. If you come up to comment, that's your time to say your piece. There's not going to be much back and forth with the board today, and if necessary, I will remind speakers and board members of that. So speakers are given their full-time allotment to make their statement. When 5 or 10 members or less of the public attend meetings regularly, it's easy to fall back on a more informal posture, especially for me. But with this many people here, that's not really feasible. Whether you speak or not, I really do appreciate you being here today. Another board president in the past was fond of referring to community members he didn't agree with as special interest groups, as if somehow their opinions deserved less consideration because they spoke up because a board decision would affect their child or their family directly. I don't see it that way. I don't think board decisions should be made in a vacuum. So I do appreciate any insight you are here to provide to us. Okay, moving on to procedures for public participation. If you have a written statement, please hand it to the board secretary after you've read it. When you come up to the mic, please speak clearly because it has to be picked up by the recording. It also has to be picked up by the other rooms. And state your name and address and sign the sheet at the podium. You'll have up to 3 minutes to speak. There will be a comment period now on agenda items, and there will be a comment period at the end of the voting meeting. And there will be another one throughout the agenda for the Committee of the Whole, which is the next thing we're going to do. And I think that was what I wanted to say. So do we have any presentations by the public on agenda items?
May I ask a question?
Yeah.
Will the action items be, and the motions be presented first and then we comment after that, or?
This will be the last time you will get to speak before we vote. But then there will be a time after we vote for you to speak as well.
Good evening. My name is Chris Ann Selst. My address is 2964 Limekiln Road, Birdsboro. I'm a support staff person and a member of the union negotiating team. I would like to read for you the text of the petition that began circulating in the Daniel Boone community on Friday, May 8th at 8:30 p.m. It reads, "We, the Daniel Boone Federation of Support Staff and members of the Daniel Boone Area School District community, stand united in calling on the directors of the Daniel Boone Area School District to reject the plan to outsource school aides to a private for-profit corporation. Instead of bargaining in good faith with the Daniel Boone Federation of Support Staff, the district is choosing to move to outsourcing the aides to a private employer. Make no mistake, outsourcing is privatization, a way for management to dodge accountability and for private companies to profit from public school students. When a district outsources support services, There is little recourse for families who are unhappy with the contracted employees or the quality of their work. Additionally, privatization does not save money. Outsourcing is penny wise and pound foolish. Money is rarely saved, and privatization often costs more because the contract does not include all the duties that the school employees perform. And the cost comparison omits many hidden costs of outsourcing, like the actual cost of administering and overseeing vendor contracts. Furthermore, the little money that could be saved should not be done so off the backs of our neediest students and the aides that serve them. Quality of service will also be impacted. The money that the district is seeking to save through outsourcing comes with an often lower quality workforce. Schools go from having stable, experienced aides who have supported students for years on end to a contractor workforce with constant turnover. This impacts the consistency, reliability, and dedication of the workforce. In a district where it is already so difficult to find substitutes, contracting out will only make existing recruitment problems worse. Now, as of 2 o'clock this afternoon, less than 72 hours after this petition was available, it was signed by no fewer than 564 individuals. Among them are 296 community members, 264 parents, 82 support staff, and 87 teachers. I would like to present these signatures and comments, all 42 pages of them, to the board as a representation of the community's displeasure with the prospect of outsourcing. The Daniel Boone Federation of Support Staff invites you to return to the negotiating table, but this time we ask that the district's negotiating team communicate its concerns, reservations, and priorities with the Federation of Support Staff, unlike the pattern over the last 9 months. We ask you to explore all avenues of reconciliation rather than turning your backs on a proposal without dialogue. Thank you.
I sign in first, Ms. Olson?
Yes.
Okay, that's part of
Thank
my
you.
time, or no? So, my name is Scott Meyer. I live at 206 Woodbridge Lane in Douglasville, Pennsylvania. My wife and I have lived there since 2002. We had 2 daughters go through the district, graduates of the high school, and we have a son who is a senior. Some other perspective I want to share with all of you as board members, Dr. Cooper, Mr. McKnight, Mr. Early, is my wife was an aide for 5 years in the district. Oh, sorry. I'm good.
Yeah, I think that was stand a little closer.
Okay, closer. So my wife was an aide in the district for almost 5 years, and I will, before deciding to make a career change, she got to know a lot of the people that are standing here behind me, and also in the other rooms. Enjoyed her time in the role that she filled, but admittedly in conversations with her, she saw the handwriting on the wall, and that was part of what prompted her to make a career change, which she has enjoyed so far. A lot of these other people probably or possibly don't have that luxury, don't want to change. They want to keep this job that they've been passionate about, the things that they have done to support the students that they are with. This is about people. These are people. Dr. Cooper, I don't need to tell you, you're running this ship. I ask you and plead with you to know that this is a people decision. These women, men, have given their time. They go outside, I'm sure, the realm of what they do. I truly believe that some outside company and whoever they would bring in would not do the same job that these ladies and gentlemen do. So I ask you to keep that in mind, please. I'll also share with everyone, I was raised by a school administrator and a teacher. So I know what that's like. I saw them, the extra hours that they put in and struggled. They have benefited now in their retirement years because they have a pension and have done well. And I see I'm running short on time, and I have a bunch of letters that I have to read that I'm not going to get to, sadly, for the third graders that wrote them. But I'll try and rush through. So I sort of freelance this. But I would just say that that's an important part of what they've done and the passion that they put into their jobs. They did it for a reason because they loved it and they loved the kids. Keep these people where they are. You don't want to have some strangers coming in, even some of these people who would come back and continue in the job for reduced pay, reduced benefits. I don't think any of you, Dr. Cooper, Mr. Hurley, Mr. McKnight, would want to be in that position. So please consider that when you make this, as part of making this decision. I thank you all for your time.
Mr. Meyer, thank
Yes.
you. You said that you did have some stuff you didn't get to.
I do.
If you don't want to hand them over, if you want to scan them and you can email them.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's letters from third graders.
That's why I didn't know if you wanted to hand them over.
Which I think are awesome. I had some, I had it typed up for me so I could read them. The printing,
Okay.
I'm impressed by the third graders because I can see my own kid's handwriting is pretty.
Can I sign in and give him my time?
No, I'm sorry.
What?
Yeah.
That's okay. Yeah, I mean,
No,
these
it's
are,
okay.
reading them I think will be over.
Yeah, if you want to hand over the, if you want to
Yeah,
hand the letters over to him, he can read them.
Okay, I'm okay to read them?
That's
Okay,
fine.
thank you. I appreciate the extra time.
No, he could read them
Oh, he
for
can
you.
read them. Great. I will
Yeah.
hand them over to him and get it. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I wish all of you luck and thank you for what you do.
Is anyone else going to go first, or do you want me to go? Yeah, all right. All right, well, I am Gregory Hertz. I live at 176 Emily Park Road. I have 3 children who are, one of them is a senior this year. I don't know most of you. I'm not sure if any of you know me. I'm involved in all kinds of youth athletics. I'm involved as a coach at the middle school. I like to think that I give as much to this district as anybody. And I just can't understand how taking money to pay administrators from a company that's probably not in this district to go ahead and run our aids makes any sense. So yeah, you're going to have a short-term savings, but you know what? There's money that's leaving this district because you're paying someone else to administer the program. All right, now, I guess I will.
Forgot to tell them you're also an aide.
Oh yes, I am also an aide here, which I absolutely love working with the kids here. And you know what? I did this as a volunteer before I ever got paid to do it, so it has nothing to do with that. Okay, let's move on to some of these letters from third grade students. All right, from Dear Dr. Cooper and School Board, I am writing this letter to tell you how important our school staff is here at BVAIC. They help us do math, they help people in need, and if people get in trouble, they calm them down. They also help if people miss their bus. Please don't take them away from our school. Dear Dr. Cooper and School Board, I am writing this letter to tell you how important our school staff is here at BVAIC. They help us. They help us read, do math, keep us safe, keep kids out of trouble, support us, teach us, and so much more. Please do not take them away from our school. All right, and I guess that's about it here for now. So I'll sign in and I'll yield the microphone to someone else. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Before it wouldn't work at all, and now it works a little too well.
No, it's probably just something that. All right, here you go.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Mr. Olson, would you like these, the copies?
Yes.
Ms. Olson, can I say something now?
Yeah, give me 1 second. I'll really ask him. Go ahead.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Go ahead.
So I think at this point, I just want to announce that I would like to make a motion that we withdraw this motion right, I don't know how to say it exactly. I mean, respectfully, a lot of people think we don't have feelings. We have a lot of feelings here, but I'd like to withdraw this motion at this time.
You want to withdraw from the agenda, not that I'm putting words in your mouth, to A2, which would be the motion to approve outsourcing district aides. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, I want to withdraw.
All right, so I had to look this up, the Robert's Rules of Order on this. So can we, unless I hear otherwise, we can withdraw this motion by unanimous consent? Do I have anybody dissenting on the board? I don't. So we're going to withdraw that motion from the agenda by unanimous consent. the motion for 2A3, which is to approve a contract with an outsourcing company, it follows that we would have to withdraw that. I would like to make the motion to withdraw that as well at the moment, and can we do that by unanimous consent unless I hear otherwise from the board? Okay. So, that would mean that we'll go back to the union, see what happens. I'm going to tell everybody, just editorial here, we are still pretty far apart on specifics, so, but we're willing to put in the work if the union is. And anybody who still wanted to say something about the aides, you can make comments like at the end of the meeting if you'd like, because you can make comments on any issues. But with that being off the agenda, at this point, if you're here to talk about the only thing left on the meeting agenda is the budget for this year. But seriously, if you wrote his whole speech, send it to me. I'd love to read it. Or stay and talk to us, say what you wanted to say at the end of the meeting. I do appreciate you being here. Does anybody at this time have anything that they'd like to say during public comment about the budget for the year?
Julia, can I make a comment?
Oh, absolutely. But I want to make sure that the people in the other room know that if you have something you wanted to talk about the budget before we vote on it, please come on in. But Ms. Leone would like to say something. Go ahead.
I just want to make sure that everyone in the community is aware that this is a proposed budget, because I know I've gotten some emails
Oh,
about
can
that.
you get closer to your mic
I
again?
just wanted to make sure that everybody knew that this was a proposed budget. This is not the final budget, because I have gotten some emails in regards to that. So just
Okay.
make sure that we all understand that it's proposed.
And we will go into a little bit more detail on that when we get to the making a motion to approve or vote it down. So, do I have anybody who wants to talk about the budget? Okay. So, seeing that nobody else wants to speak on agenda items, we'll move on to the remainder of the consent items, which is 2A1, motion to approve the proposed budget. Do I have a motion for that?
I'll make that.
Mr. Scott, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Miller. Mr. Miller's our finance chair. Ms. Leone already said about the proposed budget. I don't know if you wanted to make some comments about our last budget workshop, Mr. Miller?
Well, yeah, there was a lot of discussion at the last budget workshop, and the proposed budget is with an Act 1 increase to the limit, which is typically what we have done. Does not mean that is what the final budget will be that's approved a month from now. It's the highest that it could go at this point, and there will be discussion continuing for the next month, and the final budget will be presented somewhere either to the Act 1 index or below.
Right. Okay, anybody want to ask any questions of the CFO or of Dr. Cooper or of Steve Miller before we vote on the proposed budget? Okay, seeing none, can we get a vote?
Sure. Obviously, Mrs. Albright is not here. Mrs. Bell.
Yes.
Mrs. Godfrey.
Yes.
Mrs. Leone.
Yes.
Mr. Miller.
Yes.
Mr. Scott, yes. Mr. Strobel.
Yes.
Mrs. Thompson.
Yes.
Mrs. Olson.
Yes.
8 passes.
8, none. Okay. Do I have a motion to adjourn the special voting meeting?
Motion.
Have a second?
Second.
Okay, that's adjourned. Now,